Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Getting Dirty Off-Road channel. We've got geese. They're honking. Wind. I know that's weird. Snow. It's April, so that's normal. Oh, and we've also got another auction item over here. This is the 1996 Chevrolet Blazer. Oh, it's a Chevron edition, apparently. I don't know what that means. LS. It's that luxury series. Funny top. I don't know. It was within our budget, so it came home with us. Now, it's rough. There's no doubt, but our son is going to take this down to where he's working, and that's over on the Colorado. So, as far as traffic and thievery and, you know, all those things, shenanigan things that go on, he kind of wants a junker down there. And then if he hates it, he said he'll sell it down there. So I don't know. So let's get up under this hood and figure out. I mean, it runs good. It really does. The cruise control doesn't want to work, but I think I figured that out already. She's been speed painted and power switched for some reason. I don't know. The cable just comes, you know, it could just go to the battery, but some reason there's a power switch here, and well, we've been letting her sit a few days, so maybe there's something drawing the energy down, and that's how they decided to make that stop, which, you know, now that I'm saying it out loud, might not be a bad idea for some other junk around here. Anyways, cruise control. This cable for that, and you can see half of it's broken. So I think that's why the cruise control is not working. Now, I did drive this. What did I do? 50 miles maybe. Drove it from the auction house down to my cousin's house, and then we had the trailer with us, so we went ahead and put it on the trailer and brought it home. So we're just kind of looking it over. Now, I'm not going to steal his thunder because he's on his way over for the weekend, and then he's going to drive it home, and it'll make it or it won't, basically. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand this video off to him. He's going to give you the grand tour. I just needed to get a video started, I guess, is all. So I'm messing around a little bit, but he's going to give you the grand tour. So here we go with that.
Morning, everybody. Finally made it down to Evanston. As you can see, I'm in my new car, and it's also very short. Right now, I am trying to get this back window and back door latch open, and it's not going very good. I need that open so I can get a toolbox, so that way I can go to work. Later on in this video, I'm going to go through this whole car and make sure that it's safe to drive down the interstate. I'm going to set you up on a time lapse, so that way you can see the process. Aha! Look at that. A little bit of mind, a little bit of focus, you can get it open. Now I just got to get this part open. Man, look at that. That wasn't so bad, was it? So now that I'm standing up straight and can actually see what I'm doing and have room to work, we're going to try to pull this panel off and see if we can't get it to unlatch somehow. So a little word of advice, if you're ever doing one of these, you cannot pull the door panel off on the inside. You will break it. But you can get right here popped out just enough, and to get it open, all I did was push on this little spot right here. Can't really see it that much, but it's a plastic white clip, and then a metal clip that you push on, and then that's what popped the window. Then I was able just to pull this up and then the gate dropped. So this part's good. For some reason, that's not working. So let's tear into it. All right, well, I think I found a problem. There's a little electric motor right here that pushes on this, which pushes on this little white lever right here. So I can push that back and forth by hand, but I don't think that it's really working right. So it's not pushing on this lever. So if I lock this, maybe. So now it's locked. So now I push on that lever and it unlocks it. So this is all this is supposed to do, is just pull it back and hit that. And it's not working. So with this motor being burned up, I don't have another one. So I think I'm just gonna leave the back panel off and I'll put this panel back in. So that way I can just reach in and flip it by hand until I can get a new motor for it. So we're actually gonna tie a piece of wire onto this so that way I can reach it a little bit easier. Well, maybe not, since I can just reach in that hole and unlock it. Alright, the back door portion is done. We realized that the third row of seats don't fold down, so I'm taking them out so I can fit a big toolbox in here. Oh, them are actually a lot looser than I thought they were. So now I'm sure these ones are harder. Well, maybe not. This might actually be the easiest seats I've ever pulled out. Welcome back. Now we're going to be going through it, making sure that everything is safe to drive, make sure all the fluid levels are good, and I'm going to show you a little bit about the disconnect. So right here, you got your battery cable. As you can see, there's this thing in the middle, and it's a battery disconnect, and it's for the alarm system that they have on this. If you leave it sit for too long, then you have to reset the alarm system or else it will not start. The reason you have to do that is because the alarm system is draining the battery. So when the battery dies, it sets the alarm system off. So to save that, all you do is twist this and you pull this little red piece out. So it helps me a lot because of where I work. I can just disconnect this and then nothing's going to get stolen. My car's not going to get stolen. Then when I get out of work, just pop that in and hit the road. So I'm going to check the oils, make sure that everything's okay. As you can see, the first pull looked pretty good, but we normally do more than one just to be sure. So yep, second time, looks just the same. Man, this thing's kind of hard. Alright, well, might have a problem here. So it says a line arrow with vent tube. But I don't know if that's to make sure it's on. Oh, it says check level in bottle. Okay. So it does look a little low. It is very dirty, but it should be okay. One thing I did notice, there's duct tape on the vent tube, on the overflow tube, I guess. And it does have a little leak coming out of it. So I will put a new tube on that. It just goes from there to there. I don't know why they didn't, but it just seems easier than having leaking antifreeze. Might as well check the washer fluid, and it is dry. And I'll tell you the reason why it's dry. So back here, I have the back windshield washer. And I was messing with my friends last night, and I was hitting it. It was making a weird noise, and they were freaking out what it was. Then it started leaking out the back. You can see it's leaked all over there. And we could not figure out what was leaking from all the way back here. Well, when I was hitting it, it was hitting the washer fluid. So my buddy starts laughing and he says it's blue like washer fluid, and then we understood what it was because I was playing with the windshield washer. So there's washer fluid leak back here. Shouldn't leak out as long as I don't touch that button, but who knows. So my back windshield washer and the fluid doesn't work. As you can see here, there's no door handle. Pretty easy to break into. I might get a cheap one, see if it fits, see if I can get it to work. All else fails, it'll be on there, so that way it doesn't get stolen. Or I'm gonna take a piece of steel and cut it out so it fits in there and just bolt it to the other side. Then nobody's gonna get in the car. So now I'm gonna lift the car up and go through everything underneath it. I am gonna set my brake. It doesn't really feel like it works. I'm gonna put it in neutral. Make sure it doesn't roll. So that way I can check the U-joints. Now it's time to go up. And yes, this thing is slow, but it's a lift, so it's still pretty cool. Sweet. So now we got it up in the air. I dropped it back down on the safety pins. I'm going to show you a little bit of underneath it that I've noticed so far. So up under here, this drain plug, I don't know if they got a little piece of Teflon or if it's not tight. I'm going to try to tighten it up a little bit more, but it's leaking oil. But there's also oil up there, so I don't know. So that's why I just got to keep an eye on the oil, make sure it's still good. And then you come back here, it's all over here. And I'm not sure if this is from the leaking oil or if the rear main diff seal is leaking. But from what it looks like that seal is leaking. It's just a work car. I don't think I'm gonna mess with it. So now I'm gonna check my drive lines. Those ones look good. So all the U-joints look good. That's another positive on it. I think that's about all there is to check. There's some fluid right there. It's probably just antifreeze. Might be the oil pan gasket leaking, I'm not sure. So now I'm gonna check that, see if I can tighten it up and get that to stop leaking. Oh, one size bigger. So I'm not sure where Dad put the 9/16. These are all his tools in his shop, so I'll have to come back. Oh, I couldn't find a socket, so. All right, maybe it's not a 9/16. Aha, the magical number, 15. All right, well, I got it to go a little bit tighter. I'm not sure if that really fixed it or if I just kind of wasted my time right there, but everything else seems to look pretty good. Guess now it's time to set it down on the ground and start it so we can check the trans fluid. I'm gonna have to set you guys down for this. I can't really hold on to that lever. All right, now we're down on the ground. Start it up, get it warm, and then check the trans fluid. That's another thing that's coming off. I don't know what the point of having these on is. This is not a loader. This is a car. It's not needed. Starts pretty easy. Runs pretty smooth. It'll get me back and forth to work. Well, I've had it running for a few minutes. Now it's time to check the transmission fluid. Little fact about checking transmission fluid: the transmission fluid has to be rotating and it has to be warm in order to get a good measurement of it. Okay, well, the dipstick reads no transmission fluid, so that's cool. See, there's none on the stick. That's not good. So I'm gonna go run into the house and see if we have any laying around. Welcome back again. Stopped at O'Reilly's, got a jug. Cheap car, cheap training fluid. So to check training fluid, it's got to be running. When it's off, it may read full, but it's not. So when you put it in, it's got to be running. Try that much and see how much we got. That's a lot better. Put just a little much in it, but we're gonna run it down the highway and see how it does. Good morning, everybody. It's another morning in the 307. As you can see here, we got the car in a different spot. See, it opened up, checked it before my road trip today. Driving all the way across the state. Kind of sounds like a bad idea, I know, but I got people all the way across there to come and help me if I need it. One thing that we found out, transmission's leaking fluid. I checked it yesterday, there was no fluid in it. I showed you filling it, and we drove it all the way to Soda Springs and back. Ran great. It looked like there was still some fluid in it this morning. So I'll check it when I stop in town to meet my mom. Other than that, ran pretty good. There's a couple little things, but it's not a bad car. It's not a bad car on the inside. It is still this thing though. Other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Go follow our Instagram page out. And might as well go check out the Facebook too. We got a group on there. You guys can post on it. You guys can post what your getting dirty off-road experiences are. Give us some ideas on what we want to do next. Don't forget to tap it and smash it. And remember, beaters aren't that bad when they get good fuel mileage. I think that should be it for this video. Thank you.
Well, it's back. It's back again. The green machine carried him just about 600 miles overall. Then he said it started knocking. Well, we went ahead and traded out the other unit we picked up at that same auction, same day. And so he can get around for working and schooling and such. Doing the trade out while I was working, wifey and my niece, well, they loaded up the replacement. They had help. Our friends in town helped them out. But they hauled that over 300 miles across the state and then spent the weekend there, and my boy met up with them and he helped them swap them out on the trailers. So it's still running, but apparently it's knocking. I haven't listened to it yet. I still need to unstrap it. Then we'll fire it up so you can listen to it. Then we'll get it off this trailer and we'll stash it over there. Even if this engine doesn't go back into this rig, I think we're going to go ahead and pull it out. It's at 4.3 V6. I think we'll pull it out and check the block. If the block's okay, I've heard you can build these things. Well, we just might do that. And then if it doesn't go back in this, we're already thinking maybe this guy over there might inherit it. We'll see what happens. You'll have to stick around to see. But let me get this unstrapped and then we'll fire it up and see what it sounds like. Well, let's go ahead and start it. See what it sounds like. I haven't heard it yet. Where do you guys want to be? You want to be down here? See if it's in the bottom end. Well, I don't know. Is it up top or is it down under? Well, that was underneath. Now we're on the top. I think it's at least in these front 2-cylinder areas. Just checking my ear-o-meter. I think it's more over here. I don't know, what do you guys think? Back under? Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and give her a couple of little revs. You guys let me know. Well, I'm no expert, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Sounds like a rod knock to me. I don't know. Luckily, the kid understands when they start making noise, it's not a good thing, so he cut it off the interstate and shut her down. So that's it on this video. Even though he's already said goodbye, I figured we better have a little follow-up. So if you guys want to see where this goes, you know what to do. And we'll catch you next time.